Okay, welcome everybody, loyal listeners of YMB and BTC. This is episode 213, and as we have been doing in the past, this is my single episode. We've been bringing you guys 2 episodes a week. We do a live show on Thursdays every single week at 9 p.m. This past week, it was just me and my one co-host, Zach. So if you were introduced to us during that episode, you definitely got pretty much the cream of the crop. Doesn't really get any better than that whenever Daniel gets on, but normally we have I would consider our main host, Daniel Brown, is normally on, but you did get to miss him and experience what this show could be if he got his grubby hands off of everything and let me and Zach run things. But anyway, this is my own personal episode where I get to just complain about stuff, talk, rant, and so far, I don't know. I've been looking at a few comments. None of them seem to be calling me a fucktard or anything like that, so I'm going to keep going. It makes me feel pretty good. If you guys do want to tweet us, tweet Daniel, tell him about this episode at you, me, and BTC on Twitter. You can tweet me at BakersDozen93. Zach is on there. I think it's Zach Vol. He's in another episode too, and Daniel probably has him listed someplace. But you can follow the show on Twitter if you want to tweet us about how the episode sucks, if you liked it, if you had any questions. If you want me to do an episode, or if you want us to do a live episode about one particular thing, responding to it, tweet us that. We'll check it out. We have a few people. Matt O'Keefe is probably the guy who tweets me the most, and he kind of like, oh, here, this is cool, or hey, this, or you guys are good. So obviously he has some kind of an issue with him that he thinks anything that Daniel Brown is associated with is actually good or entertaining. But he's a okay guy. He might have a little bit of problems, but he makes me feel better about myself, so thank you. Besides that, I have to explain, or I'll get this out of the way. The reason why we're able to bring you guys 2 episodes a week doing this extra one is America's Card Room, and I'm not too huge into gambling. I'm not too huge into cards. That's more Daniel's forte. I like wasting my money on other things, which then don't possibly earn me money back. So maybe Daniel has a point there. But they're a gambling website where it's not just Bitcoin. You can put in your funds in over 60 different cryptocurrencies, so like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dash, Monero, all those kinds of things. They take 60 of the different ones. They have a 100% matchup right now if you sign up with the offer code BTC100, where they'll match you 100% for your first deposit up to $1,000. So you put in like $25 or $250, you can get $500. They'll double it like that. But what's new with them is they have a couple of every Sunday and Saturday they have games set up where on Sundays they have a $1 million tourney, and plus there's a bunch of different little smaller satellites to that game. And then on Saturdays it's a $200,000 guaranteed 8-person max, and you put in for $265, like you buy in for $265. And that's again at 2 p.m. So either Saturday or Sunday at 2 p.m. you can get in a big game if you really want to start risking some money. But again, the most important thing is BTC100 is the offer code for the 100% extra 100% addition to your first deposit on them using BTC100. Tweet them, let them know that you found out about them through us, and that you love them and you love us, and that they should give us more money. Anyway, might have done a little bit too long of an ad, but I'm feeling feeling the Christmas spirit which I guess all that really means is I'm giving away things. I do prefer to give away my words. I don't have to pay for them. I'm very Scroogey whenever it comes to my Bitcoin, not so much my dollars. I'll spend a little bit of dollars on you if I don't mind you, or if you don't go out of your way to annoy me, which as I get older, it seems less and less people in my life are doing that, but that's mostly my fault. But I'm much more willing to give money I'm much more giving with my dollars and with my time. I like keeping my Bitcoin out of sight. I like nobody else touching it, and I like it being all mine, and I like keeping it away from orphans who have crutches, and I kick them over because Tiny Tims don't mean shit to me. So I guess what I want to talk about this week was just kind of coming back to Bitcoin, trying to tie that in with Christmas, and trying to do something different besides the kind of hokey, hacky, it's a Bitcoin Christmas. And I know we did a couple years ago we did the 12 days of Bitcoin Christmas, or whatever we call crypto Christmas. Crypto Christmas definitely has a better ring to it over Bitcoin. So we might have called it like that. Daniel's normally pretty good on the names and shit like that and marketing them so people click on things. But I'm trying to steer away from that. I'm trying to focus more on something I can just rant about for 20 minutes. I was trying to figure out something to be mad about. I'm feeling pretty good, though. Christmas went well. My family doesn't hate me. I don't hate my family. I hope it's at least somewhat similar for you guys. I hope you were able to have a good Christmas. I guess I should, I remember this is the first episode you'd be listening to after Christmas. So I hope all the talks you had to have with your aunts and uncles went well. I hope if you gave any money to anybody in your family with Bitcoin, I hope they understood it and they didn't just frustrate you, Pat, like more than you were even willing to do at the beginning. Like here's this present I'm going to get this for Aunt Sally, and then Aunt Sally pisses you off so much that you're like, I don't even want to give you this anymore. I hope everything like that went well. I did see a couple posts on Reddit where people were getting t-shirts like should have listened to me about Bitcoin because it's jumped up so much. I found that funny, and then I was like, yeah, that would be funny if I actually kept enough of it not to feel like an idiot. But anyway, besides, we're not trying to be negative. We're trying to have fun. We're trying to be talking about how great Bitcoin is and how great Christmas is and how great giving is. And we have kind of gotten away from talking about giving with Bitcoin just because it's so damn expensive now. Some transactions you're spending $30, and it's like, okay, you might as well just send this with PayPal or something like that. But I think we do forget, like, charities. I think Bitcoin still has a special use for giving to charity or giving to organizations that at least profess to be non-profit and to be, well, I guess that wouldn't really depend. Like, a company can still just take Bitcoin and then just keep it themselves, but it is a little bit easier to track. Like, if they could give out the address and you'd be, oh, okay, it went to this, and then you can see where they said, like, did they send that Bitcoin, then all of it to their founder, to the CEO or something like that, or do they actually send it on to the Kids Without Feet Foundation that we sent all our Bitcoin in for? And I think something like Bitcoin, something like really most cryptocurrencies, they have even if you can kind of put Bitcoin down for how expensive it is, and people are like, well, this doesn't make sense for somebody using this for a coffee, and it's like, yeah, I mean, whatever, that's what other stuff is probably for. I don't really care. I'm not someone who's like, Bitcoin is going to be the most useful for every single little thing that we do in our world, even though we've completely based most of these transactions around using cash or credit cards for the past 30 years. Bitcoin's going to work just super great for buying knickknacks in stores or buying candy for your child who's crying because he walked past it in the shopping aisle, and they set up all the candy and all the snacks right at their level, right next to, weirdly enough, all the magazines like Cosmopolitan, be like the 17 new sexy sex positions you need to try with your Santa tonight, or ho 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 it up for Christmas, or something like that. About, yeah, I don't really understand why those are right next to the chocolate bars, but who knows? Maybe they're trying to turn all our kids into Cosmopolitan readers. That's where Cosmo's going. They know all the magazines are kind of going out of business, but they get enough kids fucking like Santa by the time they're 18, then they're still good. Anyway, I think that the idea of giving is kind of fucked up in our country. The whole Christmas, or even like charity, and they talk about charity, and you always see these studies where people are like, well, no, this age group actually gives more charity, or this group of people gives more to charity, or this group doesn't give to charity, and actually, oh, well, conservative Christians don't give enough to charity to be conservative Christians, or, well, actually, I think I saw a post the other day, it's like, statistically, millennials give more to charity. It's like, I don't know, maybe not. All these kind of the studies are kind of fucked up, and then I think kind of just giving in our culture is fucked up. Like, most of the time it is kind of a coercive type, where it's like Christmas or birthdays, where even like the best intentions, I'm not saying people are like, well, I have to buy I mean, they kind of are, especially for little kids. But if you have a decent enough family, if you're not a piece of shit, if your siblings aren't a piece of shit, your parents aren't like, I have to buy them a present this year. It's just this annoying thing. But it still is like, well, if you don't, that person's probably going to feel bad. And even if they don't feel bad, if they tell anybody else that, they're going to look bad on you. And it does come down to this very egocentric thing, which, again, Bitcoin doesn't solve, because it's still just an exchange of value. It's not a moral decision to use Bitcoin or not. But I think, if anything, Bitcoin could help to change that. I think since we do live in a society where we are becoming so much more aware of stuff, like there wasn't this real concern, I guess, probably like 40 years ago, about if the Red Cross was actually giving money to charities. There weren't articles in magazines about, this is the charity that you need to donate to, because they only take 30% of what you donate instead of 50%. So we're coming into this time where it's like, on the internet, all we ever do is kind of look at, and because we can see everything's kind of tracked now, everything's more open. It just takes one person at the company tweeting something or getting pissed off and walking off and revealing something or anything like that. And I think Bitcoin is the answer, or at least is a solution to these kinds of things, where, okay, now we know what's happening, and like we can kind of just hope this one company is more trustworthy, that this one company, this one charity doesn't just give their CEOs huge bonuses, or even, I'm not to say that I don't understand why some of the charities do that. I understand you have to pay people, and I've said this so many times on the podcast, but one of my favorite things, the guys who they created Fein Coin, I believe, or Fein Wallet, way back, Daniel, John, when John was still doing the podcast with us regularly, we got a bunch of people to donate some money to give us some sponsorship so that we could go to the Beltway conference in Washington, D.C., and we met these two guys, and I only remember the one guy's name, Leif, because I see him on Twitter still. I forget what the other guy's name was, but they gave a talk, and it was about the Fein Wallet. No, it's not Fein Wallet. I can't remember. FIVA, maybe some. Daniel might put it in the show notes if he can remember, if I can text him and remember. Doesn't really matter. It was just they were introducing a kind of wallet, and it was supposed to be a charity was supposed to be kind of built into it. Like, I think if you bought something, it was also going to be donated, something like that. It doesn't really matter. But the point of this whole, me getting off on that little bit, was that in their talk they were giving about their project, they mentioned that everybody's fine with you making money by not, like, necessarily helping people. Like, Walmart helps people because it offers them a service, it offers them cheaper goods, it offers them ability to go buy stuff, but it's not like they're giving stuff to you. People do have a problem with making money off of helping people, which is kind of strange. But then you do realize that it makes sense, but only because we're almost worried that if you put that incentive to make money, if you put that capitalist intention, or that capitalist movement into it, then it will get more corrupted than it already is. Even though there's no charity that's like a worldwide, or even a nationwide organization that doesn't pay the people who operate it. Charity, I mean, if you're actually going to be a charity, it's way too much of a full-time job for those people to also then work like 50, 60 weeks doing something else, and then also giving their time to do this, unless you're doing something like a soup kitchen, or just like handing out, but like actually collecting money for people does become a full-time job. So I understand paying people. Getting back to this, Bitcoin is good because Bitcoin, or cryptocurrency, or just the idea of the blockchain in general, is great for this whole giving thing, because one, it's the pseudo-anonymous, at least Bitcoin, and then you can look at other coins which go more into that. So it's at least pseudo-anonymous, so it's a little bit harder to see that you did it. It's a little bit less, like, sure, people could take a picture or a screenshot of, hey, I just donated this money, and it just confirmed and it's in this account now. I mean, same thing you could do with like a PayPal receipt, or, oh, hey, look, I went to eat dinner and I tipped the person at the table $50. I'm great. It doesn't really take away from that, and it doesn't really take away from the kind of natural urge for us to say, oh, look, hey, I did a good thing. That means I'm a good person. There's nothing wrong with that. There's kind of like, you're kind of, that's fine. I mean, you're giving money. I can't really say you're a piece of shit, but it's kind of douchey, is all I can really say. But Bitcoin does take away from the kind of the danger or having to trust that company that they're not going to just take an exorbitant amount. You can, like I said, you can follow, or I'm sure like a group, or they can kind of monitor charities and, okay, wait, this actually, as I said before, this actually went to the Bitcoin address dedicated to this charitable cause, or it actually just went to the CEO's account. So I think Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is definitely something good for that.
Get ready for Crypto Overload. We're making it easy to get into the game at America's Card Room with your favorite cryptocurrency. We are thrilled to announce that you can deposit and cash out using more than 60 different cryptocurrencies. We are the first poker site to offer this after already accepting Bitcoin from the beginning. Cryptocurrencies are the future. We can predict that playing real money poker will never be easier at americascardroom.com.
I think, like with Bitcoin, like how I say it's useful and it's good, I do hope, and I think that some people are kind of, I think technology kind of pushes us into a more civilized, I would say. Like, it's not necessarily better, but we don't, like people on the internet aren't like physically fighting. It's more, it's emotional, or it's verbal, but it's not. And I guess that is most of what civilized is. I don't really know how you quantify that. But I think that Bitcoin could push us into a direction of more like actual charitable giving. And because it takes away that excuse you have where you go, well, I mean, either I'm going to donate this and it probably won't go to the people anyway, so I might as well just tell people I'm doing it so then I can at least get other people to feel good for me and then I'll feel good. Or just to flat out not do it, because I know I've definitely done that. I walk past Red Cross. I haven't always walked past them, but especially recently, you see the guys outside and the Red Cross things just shaking the bell, and you're, at least where I live, you're like, dude, why are you, like, you feel bad for the guy collecting money, and then also like, well, this is going to help people, and they try to make you feel bad with that. And I was like, dude, I know this doesn't, like, most of this doesn't end up going to people. And whether that's the organization of the Red Cross actively being just greedy with it, or it's just the whole overhead of the company has gotten to the point where it's so expensive that it takes up most of the money. And one, yes, Bitcoin can help that. It can help take away some overhead costs. It can make it much easier to accept money and to move that money. But I really do hope that I hope that the kind of behavior that's incentivized by Bitcoin is also something that continues. Like, I feel like, and this is probably just me having a bias because I look for it sometimes in Bitcoin and Reddit, but it seems like people in Bitcoin are a little bit more honestly charitable. It's not just about telling people that you've given this money. Again, there's plenty of people are, and I'm just taking that as I just want to see it there. But I would, even if it isn't there, I would hope that the whole, like, the understanding that this money is actually going to where you send it. And it's I think the benefit of a truthful money and a money that isn't convoluted, because once you start getting into looking at that, like I said before, sometimes that just turns people away from it. And then also it does just make you not care as much in general. Like, in our society, like most things, like most television shows, most movies, it seems this way, at least. This comes across as this kind of like well, nothing matters, but you should give money to poor people, or we can't say certain words, or we should be nice to people, but it doesn't matter. Like, we should be nice to people and be great and don't use any words except fuck white men or something. Like, I'm not saying the actual people like that, because I've never had anybody be like, you're a fucking white male, so shut up. Do that on Twitter. Please tweet me and Daniel that. Tell us that we're white cis straight males. Daniel has taken his shirt off for money on the podcast, so maybe he's not completely I have to include that he was taking the shirt off for a man, so he may have some leanings, but you can at least call me a white straight. Anyway, I might delete all that, but getting back, I think a truthful money is something that, or truthful money or money that you can trust, and just trusting a system or the people around you in general does have and trusting and thinking that it does matter, at least for the sake of making something work better. Like, it's very easy to just think that the world doesn't matter, or if that nothing is good or right, especially if you're stuck in the paradigm of, well, this is the dollar and I use the dollar and I'm here in America and I have all this wealth. And legitimately, you can look up plenty of examples where this was taken from other people, and the only reason why I'm wealthy is because I was born in this area, and because I'm white, or because I'm just like, I mean, anyone born in America is going to be better off than just being born in the Middle East, being born in the middle of a war zone, or just being born in a country that isn't as wealthy and doesn't have the entire rest of the world kind of under them. Because in America, we do have this, we still, like, the dollar is only alive because of the gun we have behind it. We can say, okay, I mean, we'll pay it, and you can trust us because we have the biggest military, and if you don't trust us, then fuck you. So all of that to say that I would hope, and I pray to the Bitcoin gods, I pray to the civilization god, I pray to whatever, that Bitcoin and honest money and money that goes where we say it does and isn't constantly deflating and isn't just around because we have violence put behind it, and isn't just we can just print more of it and whatever, and it goes into fund all kinds of things, and it's run almost for the beck and call of corporate interests at this point, that would inspire the average person to be more charitable and to give a fuck more about their daily life. And I think that is really the only reason why things get better, is because in the face of things not seeming to matter, people still do give a fuck, whether it's for their children or for their country. And that is normally what it is. It's for your family or your country or something like that, or for your group. But Bitcoin can be something like that too. Bitcoin could be something like that too, where it's, I don't give a fuck because everything else is fucked up, but Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or just free money kind of given back to the individual and put into the individual's hands at its purest form is still something that's enough in the world to give a fuck about it, and to want to bring that to more people, to show people the benefit of that, and to just keep on caring about shit. So that's, I guess, what I wanted to say. I don't know how much of this I'll cut out because it's like 25 minutes. I'm not sure if I did the ad at the beginning for too long. I'll probably just send it to Daniel, though, so if you have any problems, just assume he cut out even worse parts. So just be happy with it. But again, Merry Christmas to you guys. Happy belated Christmas. I guess I should say happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, fake baby Jesus who wasn't born in December or whatever people are saying these days. Hope your New Year's goes well. We'll probably see you in the live episode before that if you guys want to come through. Again, that's at Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. And bye, guys. Thanks a lot for listening, and have a good day. Bye.